Well, hello, welcome to the show. This one will be fairly short, 10 minutes or less. What we got going on here is I was looking for a NEMA 1 flanged inlet box to put on a panel in the garage for possibly a solar generator, or I'd put a long cord on a portable one or whatever, because I think I'm going to do a gen set for the whole house. But I also thought maybe I might just do one for the downstairs. Now that's where we are right now. The problem is I can't find any kind of flush mount generator inlets specifically in 50 amps, which is a little more challenging because you need 6 gauge wire versus the 10 that you would need for a 30. So that's what this is about. It's all about that box, about that box, about that box. No capping. Alrighty, well, like I said, if you watch this, it'll probably bore the hair off a hog, but this is just the kind of stuff that you might want to know before you start cutting holes or making a mess. Now, if you want to buy a surface mount, rain tight, off Amazon or whatever, you can do that. Probably be a lot cheaper. But this is part of an overall project where we're going to put a main breaker in an existing panel that's fed off a subfeeder and do with the generator interlock that you got to have for an inlet so that you don't backfeed and kill anybody. So that's what we got going on. Let's get into this little short video. Well, here we go. This thing is called a flanged inlet. This is a flange, obviously, and this is an inlet because this is a plug. Not a plug, and not a cord end, which would be the receptacle end of a plug. This is a flanged inlet. And it's designed, you notice it's recessed. That's so that nothing falls across real easily against it. Plus it also gives it a little bit of a background. But now this gives us a little bit of an issue. This is, what does it say? NEMA SS250P. So that takes care of part of it. Now it's 125, 250. It means it's got a neutral in it. 50 amp. That's what the 125 is. It said 50 amps, and 250 would just be a 3 pieces of conductor going here. Here we have 3 current carrying conductor and 1 grounding conductor, or the grounding connector. These are current carrying right here. So that takes that. Now what do? Because I don't want to have one of those big mollygog rain type sticking off the wall this way, so I want to put it in some kind of a box. So the question is, what do you do with that? Well, let me go ahead and close this up. And which is this? I got this off Amazon. It's whatever it says right there, Chinese, genuine Chinese quality, LPN, part number. You can use whatever you want. But what this is, it does have to be listed by somebody, else the code people won't let you use it. This says it's Intertech listed. All right, now how do we get this in a box? Well, we go out to a barn, as I'm sure you would do. Go out to your barn or your garage, wherever you keep your extra parts on hand, your miscellaneous stuff. I got a milk crate, 2 milk crates actually. And this is because I couldn't find a plate for that. Got a double gang blank out of the bag, which I already had another one of these. So I take this one, and you see what I did? Try to find it, find the center, right? Because we want to put a hole in it. And I'm sure everybody has one of these too. This is an old Grinley knockout. I don't know what size this is, but it works out to be about 2.3 inches, and it's pretty tight. I'll go ahead and put a box here, and we're going to set this just up here. We're not going to line up the holes just right now because we just want to see the flanged inlet fit the hole to see how well this works, right? And I'm sure somebody makes a knockout already knocked out, and you don't have to drill that out, but it's what I had on hand. Now let's flip it over and see how close we came. It's a pretty good fit, isn't it? Looks like, yep. So anyway, we've got to screw this down. We got to locate it, screw it down, get it level. bolt that in here, and then we'll talk about boxes for a little bit. It may be a little boring for some of you people, but if you've kind of wondered how you could get this in the wall and you don't want to mess up your wires and bend radius and all that kind of stuff, we'll do that then. Alright, well, that took care of that, and you see it's in a neat and craftsmanship-like fashion, except I only had 2 of the stainless screws, so the odd man out is that little plated one, and this at the top. We're going to keep it covered up. See, we got 4 wires there, green, and they're even color-coded for us, green, white, black, and red. Alright, so we've got that. Will it fit a box? Well, let's take a box right here. This is a nail-on box. Let's see if we have it enough to fit down right on top of those little screw holes. Well, look at that, look at that. Magic. Fits this, fits this, fits this. But can we use this box? Well, first of all, I've got a wall. If I want to cut out underneath the panel, nail this on, I could probably do that. But is it good enough? If we take our number of conductors and we do our calculations, I think it's going to tell us that we need 25 cubic inches for just those wires. There's not going to be any ground splices or nuts or connectors or anything like that. So if that's the case, that ought to be at least okay if we look down here in the box. If I can do this with the light, get it just right. Alright, don't know if this is going to show up. Card on, there we go. It looks like it shows up on camera to me. What's it say down here? It says you have 16 number 14s, 14 12s, 12 number 10s. 12 number 10s, but I don't see number 6 in there anywhere. So why is that? It looks like we have enough volume. What's the volume on that? Let me check real quick. 32. What it doesn't say, what we don't tell from this is it doesn't say, as it's listed right there, that we could use what? 6 gauge wire. Now, it looks like I got a 1/2 inch knockout. The thing is, can you get a connector entryway in there, but it's 1/2 inch, so I don't think I can get a connector into that hole in the back if I try. Right? Now, you noticed it had little clamps on it, and those clamps are regulated by what they can hold, what they can't do. Let's see if we can see anything in this one other than dirt. All right, this one says it is 18 cubic inches, so this one wouldn't be big enough. Of course, it's obviously a single gang, but if this were a double gang, obviously it wouldn't fit there. But see how we got just a knockout hole? Alright, that's a new work box because this was nailed onto a wall or something. Obviously it's been pulled, old, still could be used. Alright, well, let's look at this one. This is an old work box.
If you like this content, please go to calldeltosell.com, find the tab that says on YouTube, click it, and it'll open up a page of QR codes. There you can use a smartphone to scan and get to the YouTube page, or you can just mouse over and click it on a PC. There you'll be able to subscribe to this little button over here and click the notification bell so that YouTube will notify you. Thank you.
Let's look at this one. This is an old work box. See, that one was just a hole, so that has to be new work box because we have to support it a certain distance from the box. Old work boxes, because we can't get up there to nail it, we got to have clamps in it. Now this is a gangable steel box, and you see we have 2 little holes here and two holes way in the back. We don't have any nail-on holes here in the middle, and they can be ganged up to make 2, 3, 4, whatever. It's very heavy. It's an expensive way to do it. It does have the wire and all that. I don't know what the volume is because I'm not going to use this anyway. Just want to show it to you. Right? It's an expensive way to do it. Plus, you see, this is not going to take a number 6 wire either because I don't have a 3/4 knockout. All right, this is an old work box. See, it also has these little connector fingers to contact and pull down, bite, support the wire in the box. It says it is a Cantex. Let's see what it's good for. It says it is 2-gang box. We know that. Old work box says it's old work. And somewhere, if I get the light just right in this strange atmosphere. There we go. What does it say? 25 cubic inch. Ooh, my goodness. What is we got? Oh, right down. This is 12-14s, 11-12s, 10-10s. Don't see any number 6s. And I also don't see a knockout hole to put a connector in. Now we flip to this side. If we look real carefully, it may even tell us where they need to be. Don't see them on this one. But this is an old work box. It works with these little flipper ears right here. You see them? They flip out. I do this one-handed. You turn them to tighten them down, and it pinches them on the sheetrock. Here's this box. Did I tell you that I and probably 1,000 other electricians invented this box? Not this particular box, but what we would do, we would take a box like this when we didn't have room. We didn't have room to put it in, doing old work. We didn't have an old work box. We'd just come in here, cut the nails off of it, and drill 2 holes here, somewhere in here. Now, the dangerous part of this is, because we're not placing them far enough back, they could potentially contact one of the sides of a device. Now, this one would not work because, see, we don't have our old work clamps. What about this one? This one does have clamps. So, we might have been able to do this safely, but it wouldn't match code because we're modifying the box. So what box will we use? Well, I'm going to use this one. Alright, this one is metal, and I can use 3/4 inch knockout, so I get my number 6 in it. What is the volume? This one happens to be 3.5 inches deep as I can get. 45 cubic inches. It's going to be big enough, but now let's look at this one over here. We didn't see anything bigger than a 10. Let's look on the back. It's more persnickety than that. 12, it says, has to come in the stud side, and then of course they have not the stud side, the off side, and then the 10s in the middle, and 14s on the edges. Okay, so anyway, we're not going to use that. We're going to use this one. And why? Because look how deep this is, and you see the placement of these holes. You can screw this into a stud. Now this is what people might call a rock box, because we often use it in block walls or a block box. And you see, because it's deep like this, you could either use this side or this side when you're running your conduit down and you're getting ready to bury it in the wall for your stub up. Or you can come in the side. See? So the thing is, let me flip it back over. When I put this on here, look at my distance at the back. I do have a little bit more room at the back for my bend radius. Now, number 6 wire, as far as I know, we don't have anything in the code that says how much your bend radius has to be, but I think 1 inch is what it should be minimum. Well, basically this is recommended. I have a little less than that from the back side of the plastic, but because I'm making inside of that little hole there where my contact is, I think this will work out to be about my best option. So that's that on the boxes. That's more than you need to know. 7 minutes. Click, subscribe, comment, and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you next time on a different, maybe a little bit more interesting project.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I will ask you to, think about buying some coffee if it's in the area you're in. It's more of a thing I do than try to make profit off of it, but that's what we do here in Ahala. Also, I want you to hit the like and subscribe button, hit the notification bells if this kind of around the farm stuff is interesting to you, because I know I do it a little bit differently. They got the people who are trying to show you some product, and they spend all the time showing you about the product, which is good if that's what you want. But very few people show you how to do something, and doing something, it's not out of your reach probably, but it's going to have some details in it. I've watched some of the electrical type people do it, and there's even some others who try to show it based upon just solar. But this is just basic National Electric Code stuff.